Whoa! Am I back? Am I back? Is everything working? Wait, why is this so far away? Hold on, guys. Uh, uh. Okay, there we go. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? This is Fiercestbard. I'm back. I'm back from the north. I made my way back to Cappy Town from the northern lands where they held an anime convention. A quite large one. I don't exactly know if it's like the largest anime convention in the north. I think there's an argument to be made that it is either the largest or maybe the second largest, right? But I do believe that it is quite up there. And yeah, it was kind of a weekend. It was kind of a weekend, but you know what? Even though it was kind of a weekend, we're back and working on arting because we have to art now. We definitely have to art now, and I have realized something that I probably should have kind of paid more attention to when I first started doing this, but we can fix it. We can fix it. So let's actually just get right into it and start dealing with this first before we do anything else. Let's see. Hold on. Let me just start doing this for the torso. Then we separate that, and then so the shoulders are here, right? My sketching is as awkwardly weird as ever. And then let's say the top of the rib cage. Somewhere here, somewhere here. So then the booba actually comes out this way, right? And then over here. Now, here's the thing with Neon, though. She's not like the other Nikkeis, right? Like, Neon isn't going to be, like, you know, massively, large, like the way that, quite a few of the Nikkeis are, right? So, let's rein this in a little bit, just a little bit. We'll keep it like this. We don't wanna go a little bit too overboard, right? And then let's get this. I probably should have done this earlier, before I started drawing, actually. Like, I should have done this to help me to identify certain like shapes, right? In the body here, and but yeah, like I'm finally back in Cappy Town. Mooney has gone home to Bounty Hunterville, sadly for me, but she is with our son right now in Bounty Hunterville, and a lot of things happened this weekend that were some fun, some not so fun in terms of stuff, because it was work, right? After all, right? So like at least on Mooney's end, it was a lot of work and stuff like that, but we made it through. We made it through the convention, and I'm happy to report that it was actually a pretty good one and a pretty successful one, actually. Like at least from like our perspective, it was pretty successful and stuff like that, right? Like in terms of business as well as our goals, our stated goals of going. So, you know, for those of you who watched Mooney's stream, you probably already heard most of this stuff, but this is kind of like a breakdown from my perspective, which is a little bit different than Mooney's perspective in terms of what happened at the convention. And it's only slightly different because like Mooney had Mooney was quite busy, like, you know, dealing with V Fleet. So for those of you who don't know, we were invited to go. Well, actually, I shouldn't say we because it's not really we, but rather V Fleet was invited to table at have a table and a booth at Anime North 2026 this year. Anime North is this huge anime convention that happens over in Toronto at the Toronto Congress Center near the airport, for those of you who don't know. And basically it is a multi-day, like 3-day event starting on Friday, and it lasts through the entire weekend. It's a big anime convention, lots of people attending, lots of big guests, and as well as events and all that other stuff. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to go. I had my doubts about, whether or not I would have a whole lot of fun. Now, okay, let's see. Interestingly enough, I actually seem to have positioned the booba on this side right, but then the booba on the other side was not right. So actually, like, I'm glad that I went back into this and started messing around, as so to speak, with the this, because I needed to see if I got everything in the right places. And it looks like I did for the most part, except for this side of things. So let me see. Hello, Mooney. How are you doing? Are you giving our stinky son a bath? Is he still stinky? Ayaya? He's Ayaya? I'm trying to get myself back into the drawing mood right now. It has been a minute since I've drawn something, guys. Admittedly, it wasn't planned to be that way, but I didn't really have the opportunity to do a whole lot of arting while I was there at the anime con. That is your phone ringing? Is that my phone? Oh, it is my phone. Juice, what's going on? It really is my phone ringing, isn't it? Hold on. Let me see if I can get you in here. Okay. Hello? Hello? It's been a minute since it's been a minute since you've been on the stream. Let's see if I can get your PNG in here. Is it? You're covering my face. Hold on. Let me
Do you hear your son yelling for you?
Is he yelling for me or is he yelling for you?
Daddy.
Hold on, you're covering me. Let me put you right here.
You're not gonna use food key tech?
Tell Mooney I said hi.
Hi.
Juice, yeah, Juice. Juice, Mooney can hear, can hear. Can you hear? Can you guys hear Mooney?
You guys can't hear chat.
Oh yeah, well, you know. No, but chat can you guys? Okay, you guys can hear. Nice. Yeah.
It's almost like as if it was part of a different stream earlier.
I know, it's almost, right? It's been a minute since we've done a stream like this together, hasn't it?
Yeah. You're also very echoey.
Am I very echoey right now? Hold on.
Did you check your mic?
Yeah, I checked my mic, but let me make sure that it's the right mic.
I like to connect to the wrong mic a lot.
I know, right? As we have discovered about microphones this past weekend. Okay.
Yeah.
It is on the mic or the right mic. Hold on. Let me see. Maybe is it picking up two different mic sources? No, it's not. Huh. Hold on. Let me see if I can hear myself. Because I can't hear what it sounds like, so I don't know what is going on. Or
He loves you.
You know what it might be? It might be picking up my Discord.
Oh.
Yeah, like maybe it's picking up the Discord.
Oh no, I didn't mean on your I meant your Discord sounds echoey.
Oh. Oh, okay. Hold on.
You on Twitch sound fine on OBS.
Okay. Custom. Oh, it were. You know what? Okay. There we go.
Oh my gosh, it sounds so much better.
Yeah. The same thing happened. Remember this? What happened to us with microphones this weekend?
Okay, so how about you share that part? I didn't talk about the meet and greets.
Oh, okay. So I gotta set it up for chat. So you guys are probably. And hello, Golden. Thanks for the lurk. Super appreciate it.
Yeah. So for people who didn't know, Bard was helping me with the meet and greets.
Yeah.
But I didn't talk about it during. The about my stream.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, I'm not on your vertical stream, but don't worry about it. They're just
Oh.
gonna have a weird voice.
Yeah, they're gonna have a mystery voice on the vertical
It's
stream.
okay. We can fix that in the future posts, but you can share about what happened from your POV of the event because it was your second time officially tabling.
Whoa! Hydrate and stretch. Even though we started, you nap now, Juice? No problem. You should nap. If you're tired, you should nap. But even though you're napping, I'm gonna hydrate. Yeah, I'm trying to fix the line art here because I think I made some anatomical issues, anatomical errors with this. So I'm trying to fix this right now so that this looks a little bit more I spent 2 hours going up and down the stairs, moving the bunny and cleaning what used to be her area. Oh, you moved the bunny?
Bunny is no longer in Juice's room.
Oh, I see. Well, that's cool, but yeah, that must have been a lot of work, cause you know, I know moving any of the fur babies is always a hassle to do, but you know, you got to do what you got to do, right? Bunny now in garage. Oh, so they have their own place now? If you don't mind me asking a little bit. But yeah. So like while I'm doing this, yeah. So basically we were at Anime North this weekend for any of you who haven't heard from on Mooney's stream, right? And basically Mooney was volunteering at V Fleet to do to help them out with their meet and greets at the table that they had, right? And it was actually quite fun to see how it, you know, like how it was all done and stuff like that, even though technically speaking, like we had to do all the setup and stuff like that, right? We were the only two there for the fleet because since Mooney volunteered, I also got drafted. I got drafted in a little bit.
We're kind of volunteered.
Yeah, volunteered. You know, voluntarily, right? And basically, what ended up happening was, ooh, Pixie and Pet Chat. I'm gonna have to check that out in a bit. But yeah, so basically, what happened was like, when we got to the convention center, it was like we got the stuff for the booth, right? Like, and we had to set up a computer and also a like a display and stuff like that for the meet and greets, right? And we had to set up all the equipment and make sure that the internet worked and stuff like that, all the usual stuff that you would have to do. And this is the first time for both me and Mooney to do something like this by ourselves. Like, Mooney has some experience in managing the meet and greets a little bit, right? From CarrierCon, you helped out a little bit with stuff like that, right? Like, or at least at the table, right? As I recall. So you had a little bit more experience with this, but I
didn't have any experience setting it up, to be honest.
Not setting it up, but helping out.
Kind of concerned with, like, admittedly.
Yeah, but you had some experience helping out with stuff, right? Like at the table and stuff like that, right? Like that's my assumption because I both times I was actually at the artist table. Because this time we were actually given the opportunity to help with to try to help out with expenses, the travel expenses, right? But they allowed us to actually set up our artist alley table for Cappy Buds at the booth and stuff like that, which was really helpful, honestly, for this trip, because like again, it was a way for us to recoup some of the money that we spent going on this trip, because like quite frankly speaking, like I don't know too much about everything as it comes to these industry type booths and stuff like that, right? But again, this was like a voluntary thing, so what happens is like we got to find ways to be able to travel, right? So like having the artist alley booth be allowed to be set up, and then having us make some of our art print sales and other sales, right, like stickers and stuff like that, like it helped a lot, because I think like we were responsible for our own food and travel expenses, where
Well, your travel expenses.
my travel expenses for sure, yeah. So like being able to do that, like I have to thank the team for allowing that to happen. And it was a little bit weird because like we were positioned in a different area than the artist alley, right? So I noticed
Ends up being a blessing in disguise to
It
a certain
did.
extent.
it did eventually end up being a blessing in disguise in a different way. um
Mm.
in a different way, not necessarily in the way that you would think. But yeah, we set up the table, and we ended up having to set up the equipment, and we were loaned a big PC.
From Stoneforge.
Yeah, shout outs to Stoneforge. They lent us a PC and some of the necessary things. We brought our own headset and stuff like that. We got a keyboard, and we got wired up and stuff like that. The setup was it was trying, because the thing is, by the time we got into the center, and then we had to set up for stuff, right? Like for the meet and greets, right? I think the issue wasn't that that there wasn't equipment or anything like that. That's not the issue. The issue was the fact that everything was arriving much later than we got there. And because there was only two of us, and like because we're not like I know a thing or two about computers, but I'm like mostly a hobbyist, right?
Well,
And
I think we should kind of clarify a couple of things, right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Typically, when we go to conventions, when do you set up?
I'm used to setting up the day before the convention opens.
Right?
I'm
Like,
very
that's the
used to
normal
that.
way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But Anime North is different.
Yeah.
They
Mhm.
didn't want us to set up until Friday of the same day.
Yeah, of the same day that they opened. Which, like, I'm not gonna say that it's a good or a bad thing, because technically speaking, the convention is a little bit odd in that it doesn't start in the morning on the first day. The first day actually starts well into the afternoon at 5, which I think that they probably did that on purpose to allow people to take off from work, or like, or go to work in the first place, and then get off of work and attend the convention. I think that might have been, I should have asked some of the staff, like, is that the logic behind when they opened and stuff like that, right? Because I was curious about that, but I didn't get a chance to ask. Yeah, like, but like logically speaking, that seems to make sense in my mind. Like, oh, you guys open the convention floor, and everybody can go in at 5 in the afternoon, and that's like after work. Okay, so that kind of makes sense to me from a logical standpoint, right? But there's a lot of conventions though that will just open on the Friday, like just open it, you know.
That's the normal way of doing it, but they open it the normal day, right? But I guess they're trying to accommodate for people who have 9 to 5s.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like some conventions will not care. They will just be like, "Yo, it's a Friday convention. We're opening at 8 o'clock." Yeah, yeah. A lot of people do. Oh,
He's screaming at me.
Oh no! Go check what he needs. our doggo Coffee is he's very vocal when he wants something. But yeah, like, so we set up the computer stuff. We had a lot of technical issues though, because of the fact that, like, so when the equipment arrived, like, we had the monitor come pretty late into the afternoon and stuff like that, right? And we also had the computer arrive pretty late in the afternoon. Basically, we had about 2 hours to set up the whole thing from the time that we got stuff, right? And then we had other issues that like with pulling wiring from the wall so that we could power everything like that, right? And we had to wait for that to happen, and we had to DoorDash a couple of different things that for on Mooney's end, right? And that was kind of a nightmare and a half for Mooney. She was not happy with DoorDash at all. After that experience, I believe we're gonna avoid ever using DoorDash again. I think if we ever need to get something at a convention, or even just in general, I think we're just gonna go and try to get it ourselves. But, you know, like, the unfamiliarity with the area and the lack of having a car, you know, it might have been just faster to just call an Uber, because, you know, you end up paying that much anyway, and then just running out there and getting it that way. It's just like, it's unfortunate for me to have to say this right now, because I don't ever want to be, like, negative about, you know, any company's offerings and stuff like that. Because, you know, like, shit happens, right? Like,
What
I will
offering?
say...
What offering?
Oh, I'm talking about DoorDash right now.
Oh, DoorDash. Ugh.
Yeah. Like Mooney, just, you had the only time with DoorDash, and because we needed to get a couple of extra items, you know, for the thing, because we didn't bring a keyboard, for example, just small things, right? Like baby wipes and other things, right? So, like, you know, Mooney calls DoorDash. Well, she doesn't call it. She uses the app, I should say. That's it. And she orders the stuff from a was it Walmart? There was like a Walmart somewhere nearby.
It's like maybe 10 minutes away.
Yeah, right? And then on top of having ordered like at the Walmart, she pays the DoorDash fee to get it express delivered and stuff, right? And this was like,
it's a scam. Never use it.
Yeah, and when did you place the order? It must have been like noon or something like that, right? Like
it was like
late 11.
2, like,
yeah.
No, it was like 2.
It was like at 2? Okay, yeah.
2:30. We'll just say 2:30.
We'll just say 2:30 to be fair. No. You didn't place it at 2:30.
3.
Yeah, no. You placed it earlier. You know why I know that? Because the estimated delivery was 2:30.
No.
Yeah, it was.
Another time was 3:30.
No, that was the new delivery time.
No, the new delivery time was about 4.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, 3:30 was the original delivery time, and then spoilers, they ended up delivering it at like 4:30. And you paid for the fast delivery time, and they were an hour late, and they took half an hour to get the stuff, too. So it was from 3 to 3:30, and you thought they were going to be here, like, within 10 minutes or something like that, and they took so long.
So fast, too.
Yeah, and then I don't know what the DoorDasher was doing, but they were clearly either multi-apping or something. Something that was quite, like, not allowed on the terms of service for DoorDash, and I know this because they turned off their phone. And basically with a lot of these location services and apps, the moment you turn off your phone in the last location that you were at, it will keep pinging you at that location. So when Mooney was looking at for where this person was, they kept appearing in different places, but they would always default back to the Walmart as their location. So it's like, man, what was going on there, right? And it got to the point where Mooney actually, my mom called me by accident and woke me up. Oh no. Juice, no, you need to put your phone on silent. Well, I understand why you wouldn't, because I can't keep my phone on silent. I always have to have it on and stuff like that. So yeah, I totally get that. But yeah, it got to the point where Mooney, you had to actually call the DoorDasher and ask like where they were. And what did they reply? They were like, "Oh, it's only 10 minutes. It's only 10 minutes."
Yeah,
it was not only 10 minutes. That shit was not only 10 minutes. They spent like an hour. Like, what are they talking about? That wasn't. Luckily, Mooney's the one that called the Dasher. I usually am a very calm and not I'm not usually like a combative capybara. But I would have been pissed. I actually
I was so ready to like strangle them.
Yeah, you were mad, but you kept your composure. You kept your composure when you called them as much as you could. And like I was just kind of like the fact that when you told me that they told you that it was like only 10 minutes or something like that,
and be there in 10 minutes.
Oh, they would be there in 10 minutes? Okay. That's when Yeah, which was still BS. And then they couldn't even find you. You had to go outside and like direct them and stuff like that. You had to search for them, even though, like I don't know, that whole situation was just so effed. Like, I was just like, damn. Like, and the unfortunate part is, like, the tip was already added, right? Like, you couldn't do anything about that. And then DoorDash was like, well, we'll refund you the cost of the express thing, but it's like, that doesn't really help. That's just like...
thanks for $3.
Yeah, exactly. It's like... you refunding that amount doesn't help the fact that we needed it and stuff like that. So it was just... we
only had half an hour to basically get everything ready and set before the talents. Because you have to remember, for anybody that's kind of curious, like during the meet and greets, right? Like, the reason why I'm so stressed is because there are people's communities who are counting on us to have this all ready for them because they really want to see their Oshis, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, shit, man, like I need to get this ready.
Yeah. Swirly eyes, what's up? I'll be lurking, making food. I know, food sounds good right about now. But no problem. Thanks for dropping by. But yeah, like, it was like, I don't want to gripe so much about it, but it's like, damn, like, thanks a lot, DoorDash.
Thanks for fucking us over.
Yeah, like, so we only had, like Mooney said, we only had the half an hour to get everything up and running. And the problem is, like, now that we had all the stuff to get up, the PC up and running, we had to get it plugged in and stuff like that. And then it started doing Windows 11 updates. So as you guys know, all of you guys who have ever built your own computer and installed Windows 10, any version of Windows in the first place, right? The first thing that happens when it does the updates, you gotta connect to the internet and hope your internet is fast enough to do all the freaking downloads and all that other stuff. And we only had half an hour to do this. And the problem with the timing too is that, you can't push back the schedule, right? Like, the meet and greets all have a specific time and they're pretty much back to back. So you gotta make that schedule. You can't eat
and that's
into...
the funny thing is, I didn't even make it super back to back. I actually prepared for this.
Yeah, you had actually buffer time. and stuff between each of the talents and stuff, right? But it still felt like back to back because of the the rush to do all this stuff, and it was so crazy. Like we did eventually get everything up and running, but we had to do like an emergency backup where like because we ended up bringing the gaming laptop that I was using.
Well, we had to.
Yeah, we had to because we needed it, right? Like for the panels and stuff like that, right? So we actually luckily had that on deck, and
We weren't planning on using it as a backup.
yeah, we were planning on using it as a backup, but then it ended up.
We weren't planning on using it for a backup.
Oh,
We were
yeah.
You
But-
were using it for the panel.
Yeah, we were planning on using it for the panel, but it ended up being what we ended up using in general and stuff
for
like
the
that.
entire rest of the convention.
Yeah. Which is like again, not really what was the original plan, but you kind of have to do what you have to do, right? Like to get things going and stuff like that. And this is no shade at the people who were helping us at the convention and stuff like that. Yeah. Like honestly, they were so helpful when like they came to check on us and stuff like that, right? And everything and stuff like that. And actually
felt really bad because they really try to do us a solid. And then every time they're like, is everything okay? And then we kind of like, I didn't have the heart to tell them it wasn't working that well during the convention.
But we couldn't, because the problem is like the thing is we couldn't stop the meet and greets to address the issues, right? Because like they're going like they were already happening, and somebody was even there like talking to the talents at the time when some of their guys dropped by to see how we were doing and stuff like that, right? So it's like what do we do? We don't have another monitor to show them like what was going on the PC.
Between too,
yeah, so
and they're
it's
also busy too with their own meet and greets.
Yeah, exactly. They were running like VTuber meet and greets on their own setups over there. I actually ended up getting to see a little bit of it, not from walking around the convention. I actually saw it on somebody else's walk around video on YouTube, like of all things. Like, I ended up seeing most of the convention, actually, through other people's things. I was actually stuck at the booth for the most part during the convention. I didn't get to do much walking around and stuff like that, unfortunately. Because it looked really fun. Like, I will say that everything looked, like, amazing and stuff like that.
We would have a nice vlog if we could only have one.
Yeah, I know, right? If we could only have a nice vlog. This is like the third time I've gone to like a convention where we were like there and I just completely could not vlog at all. I keep saying like, yeah, it'll be awesome. I'll do a vlog. It'll be neat, and then like it'll be worth like it'll be some extra stuff that we could get out of going to the convention, and I
need
nope.
to go take a call, but
yeah,
you can continue talking about it.
Yeah. So it was kind of interesting, like, once we got everything up and running, to just kind of see behind the scenes, like, how it all worked out. I didn't get to help Mooney as much, because I was manning the table. So, like, basically, we had, like, a setup where we had the artist alley table, taking up about half the space, and then we had the monitor with the meet and greet running on it and stuff like that, right? And like it was kind of like the booth got split up into two parts, which was a little bit confusing for people, I think, in who came by, because some people couldn't tell if like I tried to make it so that the signage was pretty clear that this was V Fleet's booth, right? Because like, you know, like it is their booth, and you know, it was their meet and greets and stuff like that. So I put the signage there, and then we put up a schedule with the logo on it and everything like that, right? But because of the nature of like artist alley tables, like I built up our artist alley table early in the day, and it was like 10 feet high. With a lot of with prints of different VTubers and game characters and stuff like that, like, you know. And you know, there was like, I had a whole side where I had my ZZZ images there, so the Zenless Zone Zero characters on one side of it. So there was like a whole thing, and we got really super lucky because apparently there was a Zenless Zone Zero pop-up right across from us. Like they had the Zenless Zone Zero pop-up at Hoyoverse, and they were like diagonal to us on the floor map. So if like, okay, so like let me actually do this real quick. I'm gonna save real quick. So like, where were we? We were like here. So our booth was right here. The V Fleet booth was right here, right? Like V Fleet. The booth was right there, and then we had the large monitor right over here on this side, and then I had all my prints and stuff like that on a rigging over here, and we just kind of filled up the table with advertising for V Fleet and stuff like that, and the little postcard stands and all that stuff, right? So we were right here, and then there was like, everybody had like their curtain walls and stuff, and we had our space back against the wall and stuff like that. PC was back here, and then Hoyoverse. I watched them do this all morning. I was shocked because it was around 2 hours from the start of the convention. I had not seen anybody take up that spot. It was just a blank square over here, diagonal to us, right? So then suddenly Hoyoverse, they come in with like there were like 20 workers. They come in, they run into this spot. They have like, they haul like boxes and stuff like that. Like they had the forklifts and everything like that. They just put everything down in that spot, and suddenly they build like a house. They literally build like a freaking house over here in 2 hours, and then a display and desk and stuff like that. And then on the other side, they had like they had like all their people on the other side with the table and the iPads and everything like that, and then they just haul everything into their booth and stuff like that, right? Meanwhile, I'm just watching them do this in 2 hours. We're having trouble with this computer and monitor setup and stuff like that, right? And meanwhile, Hoyover has built an entire freaking city like adjacent to us in 2 hours time. It was like like, what the hell? The difference in the professionalism and the manpower that they have. It's so crazy. And then like there was like a convention that had like a DJ over here. They had like a DJ and a bunch of cosplayers and a cosplay area over here. Like people could go in and take pictures, as I recall it. And they hired a bunch of cosplayers themselves. Like they had a lady who was dressed up as Cammy, Chun-Li from Street Fighter. They had someone who was dressed up as Asui. I think her name was Asui, the frog girl from My Hero Academia. They had someone dressed up they had like a couple of cosplayers, and they were playing lots of music. And normally I'm not really all about loud music and stuff like that, right? But actually the convention, the way that things were going and stuff like that, it helped me vibe to the convention. I'm not gonna lie. The music here helped me totally vibe to the convention while Mooney was doing her thing. Oh, that was the Anime Car Expo. Yes, yeah, you're right. Yeah, they were the Anime Car Expo. Like the anime. I was calling it the Anime Titty Car Expo. I didn't realize what they were until they came over and gave us some postcards and stuff like that. And so they have like they have their I wish I had the the cards in front of me, I would totally shout them out. But they're gonna have a convention, 2 of them actually. They're gonna have like an anime car expo type convention, and also a let's call it a spicy convention nearby in, I think, what was it, Mississauga, is that how you guys say it? Like they're gonna have an anime an anime 18 style convention over there as well, and stuff like that. So they were promoting their convention, and then next to us too on the right side, let me look this up, because they were very nice also. They were advertising an anime convention that was happening in November, on the American side of Niagara Falls. That's what I remembered about. I wish I had the card with me. I don't have any of the stuff in front of me. I wish I could shout them out. But they were like a first time convention last year or something like that, and they were doing the run back this year in November and stuff like that. And you know, like, I'm kind of interested in going because that's not too far away from Cappytown, so you know, it's like a convention that was like easily visited by me anyway. So, you know, we had that, and then we had some tables over here, like 2 people who were here doing some art sales and stuff like that, and meet and greets of their own. On this side, I believe Mooney knows who they are, and she mentioned them earlier in her stream. And then on the side here, what was the artist's name? Sheena. I seriously should have came more prepared with my stuff, right? There was an artist doing a wall art from Japan, and it was amazing. It was amazing stuff. Like or was it like Uchida Shin? Uchida Shin. That's who it was. The mural. Yeah. The mural. It was amazing. Yeah, Shino Uchida. That's who it was. Yeah. I knew the name a little bit. Pumpkin, what's up? Welcome in. Shin Uchida. Yeah. That's who it was. And there was like an amazing mural, and I wish, well, I have a picture of the mural actually and stuff like that. Maybe I could send myself the picture right now and show you guys, and it's quite amazing. I am oh, okay, there we go. Okay, so I sent it to myself. Well, I sent it to Mooney to hold for me. Hopefully she doesn't she's like, what are you doing messaging me, Bart? But yeah, here. I'm gonna post it right here. Oh my gosh, this image is way too big. This image is way too big. Holy crap. Okay. There, guys, check this out. This mural was amazing. Like, it's not the most high res, because I don't want to, you know, like, I don't want it to be like, you know, but you guys had to be there. She was drawing it from scratch and everything like that throughout the weekend. It was amazing, because the thing is, like, unlike myself, right, she has so much practice with her style that she was freehanding the style with a dry erase marker or something like that, right? Where, you know, like, that's something that I cannot do. I cannot do that because I need to do my undersketch before I do anything. Otherwise, it's gonna be totally out of proportion and stuff like that. It's like it was ridiculous, but it was like amazing. Like when watching her do it throughout the weekend and stuff like that. Every time I passed by, it was like crazy. But yeah, so like you know, Mooney sets up the the system and stuff like that, and she starts running after a lot of hardship. She starts running the meet and greets, and we actually had a pretty decent time running the meet and greets. But like the only problem though is like the Wi-Fi that we had for it, right? And like we got some tips about it later on, about what we should have done, which actually was a really good tip and stuff like that. Like we probably should have bought something like a Starlink or something like that, to be honest, to be able to do it. We actually ended up bringing a 5G hotspot, a mobile hotspot that with Wi-Fi 6E on it, right? Which was just enough to do the meet and greet, but the more people that came into the area, the less reliable the 5G connection was becoming, because it's like the more people you just have in one area using mobile service, and damn, there were a lot of people there using, like, either they were like live streaming or they were doing transactions, or like there were just so many people using up the airspace in the convention hall, that like our hotspot was having some issues from time to time, so things got choppy a little bit. And then also, like, given that, like, we had a lot of technical issues, and Mooney is not, like, again, Mooney is not, like, a PC head, right? And I just do it as a hobby, like, I know how to build my own PC at home, so I trust my own builds and stuff like that, but sometimes there's some things that I don't think about, and then I forget. Like, for example, when we hooked up the Logitech camera, right? We didn't realize that Windows 11 automatically picked the camera's audio instead of the headset's audio. So there were times when it was weirdly like, wait, why is the sound not coming through all that well and stuff like that? Oh, it was reading from the Logitech webcam's audio, and things like that would constantly happen and stuff like that. So I chalk it up to inexperience for us in doing this sort of thing, like but we're volunteers, unfortunately. We're not professional table runners and stuff like that. But there were some interesting things, like we got to meet a lot of people. I know Mooney got to meet a lot of other VTubers and talents and stuff like that behind the scenes. But interestingly enough, I got to meet some people. Like I met some representatives from what was it called? Next generation? Hold on. I don't have my cards. I wish I had my cards. Next Generation Gamers. Next Generation Gamers is like a new VTuber company. I got to meet them. Like some representatives from them, and like they asked me some questions about our setup at VFleet and stuff like that. I couldn't answer too many of them, unfortunately, because I'm not technically a part of VFleet. I'm only incidentally there to help volunteer my services and stuff like that, but that was really cool. Kinshoku-kan, that's what it was. Thank you, Swirly Eye. You have all the information. Yeah, I'm very interested in attending just for fun, because again, Kinshoku-kan is actually not too. It is far away. You gotta drive hours to get there, right? Like if you're gonna drive, especially from Cappy Town, you're gonna drive like hours to get there. But at the same time, it's still in an area that is very reachable for people from Cappy Town, and they were really nice and stuff like that. They actually purchased one of my Mukibara stickers from us, so it's like it was also nice. Oh, okay. So like yeah, it was like like these were the things. Yeah, like so Mooney is much more Mooney is much more how do we say it? Much more sociable than I am. So like I did talk to people, but I wasn't like as much like talking to meeting people as she was. Like and you know, like that's my own personal failing as a, but I am just but a capybara. I am but just a humble capybara who does artwork. Oh, the voice actress for Slade the Princess. Holy shit. So yeah, there were like a lot of people. Damn. Like I was just like head down and just like thinking like, oh man, I gotta work this table. If Mooney needs a break, I gotta get up and try to give her a break. I felt really bad that I didn't give Mooney as much of a break as she really needed during the convention, because I was just like so inexperienced with like talking to people. Like I'm not a social butterfly, unfortunately, right? So it's like when I did give her a break from time to time, but she was also kind of looking out for me in that like, oh, I'll let you, I'll go on break when I know that there is somebody that Bard will feel less intimidated to talk to, because you know, like it's not that I think that anybody's like a bad person or anything like that. It's just that there are certain times when like I like if I have to talk to another VTuber and stuff like that, I get nervous, especially when I don't really know them all that well and stuff like that. There were some that I could talk to pretty easily, like Tony and stuff like that, right? He's one of the Anthony Talon is one of the pilots for V Fleet, right? And I just naturally like am able to talk to him much easier than I can like, you know, like some of the girls who I've never really gotten a chance to even say hello to and stuff like that. And so my nervousness gets in the way of me being successful in terms of interacting with people. So it's like, oh no. So like even in that regard, Mooney was looking out for me, even though I should have been looking out for her. So you know, it's like I feel kind of bad about that, but you know, I think overall we did end up getting through with the meet and greets, but we had more technical issues because on the first day, at the end of the day, V Fleet had a panel, right? Which actually went off pretty successfully. I will say I had to close the booth and stuff like that and make sure everything was put away and make sure that, you know, like all the equipment was safe and stuff like that. So I waited at the booth to close the booth for the guests, I mean the attendees to kind of mostly vacate so that people don't just wander over and you know start grabby hand stuff, right? But then I got to the table later. Not the table. I got to the panel later, and I got to see quite a bit of the end of the panel and stuff like that, and help out a little bit at the V Fleet panel, which was actually I felt like went pretty well, at least from the parts that I was able to catch. And I got some video of the panel too. But there was during the Q&A session of the panel, like there were some technical issues, right? So it turns out that the microphone that was plugged in, right, it was plugged in correctly. Everything was done exactly. So the staff that helped out Mooney there, they did their jobs 100%, right? But at some point when Mooney was switching things over or getting people set up on Discord and stuff like that, Discord automatically again selected the Logitech webcam's mic. So it was hard for the people on the panel to hear the audience during the Q&A session, right? And that was something that because I wasn't up on the stage with Mooney and operating the equipment, I didn't notice that myself either and stuff like that, right? So like again, these are things that you don't think about because you don't like when you're not actively running these things all the time and stuff like that, you don't really think of these things until it happens to you, and then you're like, man, next time, right? But like, you know, it's like, geez, so many things could go wrong. So many little things can go wrong in in many situations. But I think we were still able to get through all the things at the end of the day, the panel and the meet and greets. I think it went off not without a hitch, but it was still fine. At the end of the day, we got through the meet and greets and we got through the stuff, the panel, right? And then the second day. So the second day was crazy. It rained like everybody kind of, I don't know if you whoever was in Cappytown got flooded by a rainstorm like a week before this event happened. Like there was so much flooding that our metro system just got completely hammered by water and everything. Like water was just like all over the place, right? Well, something similar was happening that Saturday in Toronto, near the Congress Center, right? It rained like crazy, like an insane amount of rain, right? I didn't personally see any flooding that happened in the area. I didn't hear about it because I'm not hooked in to the Toronto area like I am in Cappytown. But man, it rained so much, right? Like everybody was coming into the convention center. Usually you got a lot of cosplayers and people doing performances outside of the conventions. Like they hang out in the areas that are outside of the convention because the convention hall is like gets really hot and you know, with so many people in the same area, like there are oxygen things happening and oh yeah, no problem Squirrely. But yeah, like there were so many people in the convention center and it was so muggy because of the moisture from the rain and stuff like that. Okay, I went outside to go on a run to Tim Hortons, right? I know people have opinions about Tim Hortons, but I actually still like them. I still very much like my chain coffee. I grew up with Dunkin' Donuts, so there's nothing that can be worse. But yeah, like I went outside to go to Tim Hortons, and I've got a story about the Tim Hortons like in a moment, but like over there anyway, that one in particular, right? So I went outside, I got the stuff, I was rushing my way back in. And normally everybody kind of like the way that I was doing the run around for the convention center. So if you can imagine, like the convention center was over here, right? And then somewhere over here is Tim Hortons. Somewhere over here, this is Timmy's. This is Timmy's right here, right? Somewhere over here, like the convention center was like this big block, massive building over here, right? There's like an exit that everybody was kind of coming in and going out of over here, right? And then you have to walk around. You have to walk around like the convention center, something like this, right? And to get to the food, that's not the parking lot and the trucks over there, right? So when I initially went out to do my run, I did this, and it was raining like crazy, right? So I'm like, is there any way for me to get back to where I was? Because our booth was in this was at this exit, so this was like the closest to our booth over here, right? So on the way back, I was like, man, maybe I should find a way. Oh, you know what? Let me go this way. Let me go this way to go back. Because there was a set of doors here, and this is these doors led to where the panels were, but there was a way to get to like a set of doors that leads into the industry area and the vendors hall space, right? So if I go like this through here and go through those doors, I can then shortcut my way over to our booth, right? And that way I don't have to be in the rain for as long. Well, everybody was thinking the same thing too, because everybody was in here. Every single person that was standing underneath the awning here was like crushing themselves to be in here. So when I went in there, the immediate, okay, so like I guess most of you know I guess most of you guys know already that this capybara wears glasses. You see my tiny little eyes? You see my tiny little eyes, right? In normal life, this capybara wears glasses like this, right? Well, as soon as I walked in through those doors, those glasses fogged the hell up. I went from seeing a hallway and a set of doors over on the end of the hallway. I went from seeing that to seeing nothing immediately as soon as I opened the door and walked in there. It was the biggest mistake of my life. I'm holding a coffee tray with different drinks and stuff like that and a bag of food and stuff like that in front of me. No longer see that. I'm walking blind. And then I have to take my glasses and pull them down slightly so I can have a little bit of vision. And even though everyone is like a blurry mess in front of me, I had to navigate my way around that. It was not fun. It was not fun. It was the stupidest thing I could have possibly did. But I didn't know. It was just raining like outside like crazy. So I just kind of had to do what I had to do to get through and stuff like that. And eventually I did get back to Mooney with the stuff that we bought. And yeah, like it was kind of crazy. And so like what else happened? So it was like so she's running the meet and greets, and those are going well for the most part, right? But every now and then I had to reset the Wi-Fi to see if it could pick up the signal again and stuff like that. So like there were ongoing issues, but from I heard from a lot of people, because I was running my own artist table booth, right? I was hearing that from other people that they were like, oh, do you take card? And it was because like at some point during the day, I guess everyone lost the internet over at the artist alley. And whoever didn't bring their own Wi-Fi, their own Wi-Fi, was unable to charge, to take card for charging. And luckily, I was one of the few like that was left that could and stuff like that. So I didn't need to do that and stuff. So there were a lot of oh yes someone can take card here and stuff like that. There was a lot of that going on and stuff. It was kind of funny. Not funny for everybody else in the artist alley. I felt bad for them, honestly, because it's like, oh, you don't want to see it happen during an event, right? Like you never want to see it happen, because like when you're at an artist alley event and stuff like that, you're all kind of comrades and stuff like that, comrades in arms, and you don't want things to happen. Like, you try to be as helpful as you can to everyone else, because, like, you would want the same courtesy and stuff like that. But I was very far away from the artist alley itself, so it was just like, I only heard about this stuff happening, like, afterwards. And this is not an indictment of the convention either. This is not the fault of anyone at the con and stuff like that, because these things happen. Like, if you've done artist alley or industry or dealer's room or vendor's room stuff at a convention before, right? This stuff is just gonna happen. It's not anybody's fault. It's just part of the game, like when these things happen and stuff like that, right? So it's like, wish I could have helped, because our Wi-Fi puck can actually support quite a few devices on top of ours and stuff like that. I think up to like 25 devices or something like that on Wi-Fi 6E. So we actually had the ability to help out if we could and stuff like that. But the unfortunate part was that we were not actually in the area to be able to offer that help and stuff like that. So, like, but otherwise, like, the convention was seemed to have gone well, because a lot of people seemed to have fun there and stuff like that. There were lots of people and lots of cosplayers there too. That was like um I'm used to seeing a ton of cosplayers at the conventions in Cappy Town and stuff like that. Like Anime NYC usually has a whole lot of cosplayers there, but there's because the Javits Center is such a huge venue, they're able to section off the cosplayers into their own area and stuff like that, right? So, but for other conventions like this, right, where space limitations are real, like there you can't really do that, and plus the fact that usually I think they would be outside, right? But it rained like crazy, so like all the everybody had to just cram into the convention space itself and stuff like that. So like you blame the weather. We'll blame the weather for sure on this one and stuff like that. And yeah, it was a pretty good convention overall. I actually had my best turnout for even though I didn't advertise at all and stuff like that, and do any of that stuff. I did have my best not turnout, but what is it, intake, I guess it would be called, ever for in quote unquote artist alley. Again, I wasn't officially a part of the artist alley and stuff like that, but the setup that we had allowed me to do artist alley activities, as a payment for my services, me and Muni's services, for running the meet and greets. And like I think that like overall it was a pretty successful con for us, in terms of the I just totally put that there in the wrong place. But yeah, it was pretty successful overall for us there. I made enough. Okay, so it's like, it's not that I made a profit or anything like that, clearly, for more first time the rain was a bit of a shakeup, but I think it still ran relatively smoothly. Yeah, like like overall for the attendees, I hope that things were all smooth and stuff like that. And like for myself, like it was the best tabling that I had. Now in terms of the raw numbers and stuff like that, right? I could look at it two ways. Either I paid for the flights that I needed to get to the convention, or I actually made enough where I paid for my fancy new printer and all the materials that I used to prep for the con. So we can look at it both ways, right? And stuff like that. Would it have been better had I had been placed in the artist alley? Arguably, sort of, but also like arguably no, it wouldn't have been, right? Because again, I came with very few I came with very little preparation for this and stuff like that. So, I'm trying to become a famous VTuber, but I can't because I'm bad. No, Goofy! Like, you're not bad, you just need the belief. You need the ultimate belief in yourself, and that's all you'll need. I'm never gonna become a good VTuber even though I have like 56,000. No! You have to believe that you can be. You too can be a good VTuber. You just gotta believe in it. You gotta be like Parappa the rapper. You gotta believe. What's up, Goopy? How you doing? I'm just back from Anime North. It was a fun convention. And yeah, I'm just trying to work on this art of Neon from Nikkei. I think I need to make her head a little bit smaller because I'm seeing the vision right now. I'm seeing the vision, but I need to make her head maybe a little smaller. It depends because she tends to have a slightly big head. She's like Jalen Brunson. She's got a big head. Confidence goes a long way. Believe. Exactly. Cluna, believe. Damn it. What's up, Cluna? How you doing? You gotta believe. It makes a huge difference. Oh, thanks for the Prime sub. Like, seriously. Damn. What? You didn't have to spend your Prime sub on May. I don't deserve your Prime sub. I'm just a capybara. I don't know what to do with Prime subs. Whenever I go into the forest to look for food, I see a Prime sub and I'm just like, what is that? What do I do with this? I don't know. But yeah, how you guys doing, by the way, for everybody that just joined? How is everybody doing? I'm trying to figure out this sketch for Neon from Goddess of Victory, Nikkei. And also trying to talk about Anime North, at least my perspective of it. If you guys were checked out Mooney's stream earlier, you heard her side of it and stuff like that, but my side of it was a little bit different because again, I didn't really talk to too many people because I am much more shy than Mooney is. I don't have the confidence to go to my Oshi and talk to them. Give me an idea on a video. I mean a short. Okay. I can't give you many good ideas for videos and shorts because I'm not a trained content creator. Well, technically, I mean, I had courses in it when I was going to college and stuff like that, but I wasn't trained specifically in looking at, and I'm not good at making YouTube videos and stuff like that, but I can tell you what not to do. And that is, don't go flying to a different country, and absolutely do not be a nuisance and do public things to annoy the hell out of people and break laws and stuff like that. So you've got a good foundation. If you're not doing any of that, you've already got a good foundation for what not to do. Because for me, if like the only things that I can think of in terms of video shorts, right? Like for myself, like what video shorts could I do, right? I don't think that I'm a good teacher in terms of art, but I would be able to do videos and shorts based on, oh, this is my favorite artist. I want to try to copy their style because I want to learn from them. Like, I could do things like that. I don't think that I'm necessarily a good art teacher because I'm still learning myself. So I don't want to mislead people when it comes to art and arting and stuff like that. So I'm very hesitant to do content like that myself. But I could do that sort of content where I'm talking about stuff that is getting me to where I am in terms of art learning and stuff like that. So I could do stuff like that, you know. But yeah, that's me. I don't know if that would work for you, Goofy. I mean, you know, like, it really depends on the type of thing that you're interested in streaming yourself, right? Like, I don't know what your topic is. If it's something like gaming streaming and stuff like that, like, that would be kind of hard for me too, because I'm not a pro gamer at all. I don't play too many games anymore. As you guys can see, most of my streams are actually art streams now. I used to try to do the FGC thing. I used to try to do fighting games, right, and stuff like that, but those have like a commitment level that I can't afford to do anymore because I'm trying to get good at this art thing. So it's like, I really want to play Guilty Gear Strive right now, but like I can't actually put the time and effort into it. Like I could have made Celestial like a long time ago, for example, pre-season 3, but I just couldn't sit here and actually do the grind to do it and stuff like that, right? And then the same thing happened with Street Fighter 6. I was on my way to whatever the, like, where was I? Like, when I last left off, like something like Diamond 2 or something like that. And I was actually on my way. No, actually, I got up to like Diamond 3 or 4, as I recall it, with Chun-Li and stuff like that. And I could have continued to do the grind, but I just, like, I couldn't. I ended up having to think about more about my art stuff. So then I kind of had to give up that stuff. Though from time to time I will do Nikkei streams, like when I do gacha pulls on Nikkei and stuff like that, right? But it's usually a supplemental stream to the art that I'm doing. It's never usually the main part of the stream, because, like, again, I gotta really stick with this art thing, because I think that's like a thing that I think a lot of people could learn from if you wanted to be a content creator. It's really about being consistent with your content, even if you are a variety streamer. Like, you know, like if you're doing games, for example, right? There is something to be said about doing too many different types of games like all the time and stuff like that. Like you really shouldn't, because then you confuse everybody about what you're focused on. But if you pick a specific genre and stuff like that, right, then that genre could become your niche and stuff like that, and that can help you out, go a long way. So yeah, maybe that's the tip that I would give. Like if you're gonna do like a lot of different things like gaming, pick a genre and stick with it, right? Like don't go too far outside of it and stuff like that, because then again, you build a lot of different small audiences that all expect one thing, but then they don't see that thing the next time you're on, and then they get confused, and then they don't want to come back and stuff like that. So I'm sure that there are definitely creators who could probably tell you more, though, of more important and more valuable information that isn't isn't like obvious, like the information that I could give you. Let's see. The bottom of this is also a big piece, it looks like. So yeah, sorry, I gotta figure out. I'm trying to be good about doing the undersketch first with this one for whatever reason. It's like I want it to come out good, like really good, I should say, and I'm trying my best to not be lazy about doing the sketch on this one. So this is taking me a lot more time than it should. Titty Star Honest, though, that one, the line art for it is done already, technically. So Mooney is working on adding the color to that one. And she will go at her pace and stuff like that, and at her leisure, as it were. So that will be kind of cool. Oh, actually, that is not what I thought it was supposed to be. Okay, going back. This is a problem for by the way, for a lot of artists when you're doing fan art. A lot of times fan art, it's both a gift and a curse, because when you see certain design elements and stuff like that, you got to figure out, like, what is this? What is it supposed to be doing? And sometimes, for some people like me, I'm unable to figure that out like with ease. And so I start drawing something, and then I'm like, wait, that's not what that's supposed to be. Oh shoot. And then I realize it later, and then I have to redraw like the whole thing. Okay, let's see. I also need to go get some food pretty soon too. I barely ate today. I might not cook something tonight, because I might be a little bit lazy about it. I also have to do a little bit of shopping, because since I came back by myself to Cappy Town, I gotta fend for myself a little bit. So I gotta do some, and a lot of the food that the groceries that I had when Mooney was here, we kind of exhausted a lot of it. So I gotta go food shopping actually too. So, like, I there's a lot of stuff that I gotta do. It's unfortunate, but it's like, I got a lot of stuff that I gotta catch up on in Cappy Town. And we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll try to go and do some food shopping tonight or something like that. But if I go out tonight, then that means that I probably shouldn't cook dinner, because that's gonna take me too long. So I might have to actually go and get dinner and stuff, which is something that I was kind of hoping to avoid, but you kind of do what you gotta do, right? Yeah, I might actually have to make her head just slightly smaller. I didn't want to, but now that I'm looking at everything, that I did with the proportions and stuff like that, her head needs to be just a tiny bit smaller. Otherwise, it's gonna all look very strange very quickly. Though when I make her heads a little bit smaller like this, right? It takes away a little bit of it just takes away a little bit of the angle that I did. So maybe I shouldn't. Because ultimately she's leaning towards the viewer, right? So if she's leaning towards the viewer, there's parts of her that's going to be foreshortened a little bit. Her head amongst one of those parts that should be a little bit bigger. And plus, again, she's got a more petite body type as opposed to a lot of the other Nikkeis. The other Nikkeis, they're much more full, like in terms of their body. Like big hips, big boobies, everything and stuff like that, where Neon doesn't have that. Oh, but yeah, so 2 updates actually before I continue. Number one, I was gonna start this week with a test stream on a different platform. I announced that 2 weeks ago, right? I have been trying to get the platform to give me my damn account. I signed up for it. I made a new Gmail account and everything for it. I signed up for it. I still have not gotten my activation on that platform. So originally I was gonna move to this new platform temporarily, not forever. I was still gonna do Twitch on my regular schedule, right? But I was gonna move to that platform because that platform seemingly allows people to draw whatever they want, and a lot of art that I do has the potential to be a whole lot spicier than it really is, right? So I was gonna move to that platform temporarily just to do a couple of test streams to see, like, you know, how it is to stream there, what I can draw there, and do the whole thing and test it out with you guys, right? This week, it's not gonna happen. I can't get the account to work. I'm gonna email their support as soon as their support page freaking loads. Their support page is not loading, so it's like it's giving me anxiety about using their platform. But they are a platform that is a lot of other artists use and stuff like that, and it seems tailor-made for artists to actually do art things on their platform, right? So I'm very interested in trying it out, but I can't right now because I can't even get on the platform to try it out. So, you know, we'll see what happens with that. I still have hopes. I still have hopes and dreams on that platform, but we shall see. And the other thing is I'm probably gonna be doing still gonna be doing fan arts for sure, right? I'm still gonna be doing a lot of fan arts and stuff like that on my schedule and stuff like that. I will be trying to do also a lot of other types of art on this channel, right? Because I also need to worry about my brand, Mia Mooney's brand, Happy Buds and stuff like that. And I had some really interesting ideas for things for that brand, so I might do some of that artwork on here too. I tried to I got away with doing a lot of fan art and stuff like that and turning that into the products and things like that without having to worry too much about anything else. But it more and more I'm starting to see, you know what, I need to do things that are tied to the brand in particular and stuff like that. So that's kind of like, you're gonna see a little bit more of that happening here, but not too much more, because again, a lot of that is still going to be stuff related to fan art anyway. So, you know, like, you're not really gonna see too much of a change in stuff that's happening here with that. But let's see. So those are 2 things before I get back to talking about Anime North, right? So, like, what? Oh yeah, Tim Hortons. I love myself Tim Hortons from time to time. I'm a little bit biased in my opinion for unknown reasons, but you know, like, that Tim Hortons, man, that was next to the convention center. Not okay. The food was actually fine. It tasted great. I will give them a thumbs up on that, right? But I had to order a breakfast belt. That's what it's called. Why is it called a belt? Bagel, egg, lettuce, tomato. Bagel, egg, lettuce, tomato. God damn it. It's in the freaking name. These people 3 times in a row, like across 3 days, could not get this freaking sandwich right. We got 2 of them that was bagel, egg, and sausage. And then the only time they got it right was when I told them, bagel, egg, lettuce, tomato. Oh no. Yeah, it's like the food was fine. Everything else came out great. The coffee was great. You know, like I got hash browns one day, that was fine. The donuts tasted great. I had no problem with anything else, but I was trying to get Mooney's a sandwich, and like the first day they didn't know what a belt was, so it's like B-E. Oh my god, my freaking thing. I'm on the wrong thing. So like bagel, egg, lettuce, tomato. It's in the freaking name. And twice they did not have lettuce and tomato. They had the bagel, they had the egg, they added sausage or bacon, you know, depending on what you want. But for some reason, they could not get this part right until I actually told them what it was. And I don't know if it's like, maybe it's because my Cappytown accent is a little bit different than what they're used to hearing. I don't know what it was. I really don't know what it was. They couldn't get it right. And it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, guys, I'm not gonna go and rant and rave about it because, you know, like, again, it's just a small thing, but I just found it really hilarious. Also, Uber drivers. Uber drivers, I guess they're very different in the Toronto area near the convention center, because in Cappytown I usually have a pretty good experience with them. You don't always get a good, quote unquote, you know, good, whatever that means to you, right? You don't always get a good Uber driver, but mine's twice there. I got someone who didn't know where the meeting spot was. Like, apparently they didn't know how to read a map. So there was like, near the Tim Hortons. I'll just use the Tim Hortons they were circling the parking lot in the Tim Hortons area, like over and over for 15 minutes looking for the pickup spot. You know where the pickup spot was? I will just draw you guys a map. Okay, so let's say the Tim Hortons is right here. This is the Tim Hortons. This is the parking lot, right? This guy, no joke, circled this Tim Hortons like 15 minutes when they got into the area, looking for the pickup spot. You know where the pickup spot was? Holy crap! This made me so. There's a road that goes out towards the convention center from that parking lot. The pickup spot was over here. Pick me up. They were over here circling this Tim Hortons for 15 fucking minutes, and then they called me and were like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm at the pickup spot. I'm at the pickup spot. I'm literally standing right on top of the pickup spot. I don't see you. I'm at the pickup spot." Oh no. I should have used Lyft. I really should have used Lyft. Everybody kept telling me how much cheaper and how much better Lyft was. I don't know why I just kept using Uber. Because I'm just so much more used to Uber in Cappytown, and where we have the opposite experience, where Lyft is not quite as good in Cappytown and stuff like that. And it's just like, and then the guy was like, I was like, you know what? I'll come to you. So instead of him coming to pick me up, I went to fucking pick him up. I walked all the way into that damn parking lot, and then he was like, "Where were you?" I showed him the freaking app. I'm like, "I'm at the pickup spot." I went to pick up my driver. No, I like, okay, like, in all seriousness, I make a joke out of it, but gig workers work hard, okay? Gig workers work incredibly hard. Don't give them a hard time. So that's what I was trying to do. I was trying not to give them a hard time by going up to them. And I sound super exacerbated here, but I did not give them a hard time about it. I just told them, "Hey, like we were like down there. That's all. It's cool. It's cool." He loaded up our stuff and then we drove down the street. Granted, he almost got hit by another car because he wasn't looking. But hey, you know what? Experience. We made it. We totally made it. It's okay. It's okay. We totally made it to the hotel and stuff. It was fine. It was fine at the end of the day. Okay, guys. No, but yeah. All jokes aside, don't give your Uber driver a hard time. Unless you do DoorDash, then you can give her No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't give anybody a hard time, guys. Please. Please. Like, everybody's hustling, okay? Everybody's hustling, and you just gotta let it happen. Oh, man. There's, like... But, yeah. Again, aside from hilarious shit happening, the whole experience was fun. Like, I gotta say, like, what would I compare this to? Okay, it was not, waiting 5 hours in the cold inside of a parking lot when everybody was still trying to avoid COVID, and they told everybody, y'all need to space out, when they fucking canned everybody into the parking lot like tuna and stuff like that. That was the experience of 2022 Anime NYC. It was not that. It was far and away 1,000 times not that experience. Granted, Anime NYC has gotten way better in years after that, but that was the worst experience I ever had at a convention. But Anime North was an amazing experience that entire weekend. I feel like I personally had a lot of fun, even though I was sitting at an artist alley table the entire time. Relatively speaking, it wasn't in the artist alley, but it was pretty much an artist alley type of thing for me the entire time. And I did get to walk around the last day. I got a chance to walk around for a little bit on that last day, and I got to see the actual artist alley on that day, and I'm glad I did. Because I wish I want to give them the shout out. I want to give them the shout out so bad right now, and I don't have any of my stuff because I was lazy. I didn't unpack when I got back. I found another artist there that was selling this wonderful print of Atelier Ryza. It's the only thing I really bought this year because I was trying to limit my my spending and stuff, right? So it was the only thing that I bought, but I bought a print of Ryza that I really like. I love the artist's style. I wish I had they gave me their card and everything like that. I could go and get it, but then if I go and get it, it's just like dead air here. So I will get it for the next stream, and I'll talk about this artist's style. But it was the last one that they had. I was very fortunate, and I got it, and I'm very happy. I always want to go through the artist alley, and I know it's silly because it's like Bard, you could draw your own art and stuff like that, right? You could draw your own art and you could draw your own Ryza. But like the thing is, like, when I see good art from other artists, I want to support them and stuff like that. I don't want to it's like, this is the thing that I would want for people to do for me. So like it's sort of like a do unto others what you want them to do for you and stuff like that. So I don't mind paying it forward and like, supporting other artists by buying their stuff and junk like that. So whenever I go to a convention, I make it a point to at least be able to visit the artist alley for a little bit. and buy something, and that is the one that I chose. If you have a Ryza art, you may see a capybara wander over. if you're in artist alley. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, it also makes me think that I need to draw more Ryza art, because my Ryza art is a little bit outdated at this point. Um, I missed out on drawing her collab costume with I forgot what game that they recently collabed with, but they had bikini costumes that were really nice and stuff like that. I should have drawn that, but it's the summer, you know. And also one other artwork that I wanna get to drawing after this, right? So I want to do the full 3. I want to do Rappy after I finish Neon. Well, after I finish Onyx and Neon, I want to draw Rappy. Cuz I want to have all 3 counters, at least the current crew, right? Like, I know Marion or Modernia, I should draw her, but I want to save that for a little bit, for a different type of image, or a different timing for that. But after this, I feel like I want to revisit Cecilia, because I never drew Gigi, and I want to draw Gigi and Cecilia together, like the way that I drew like Fuamoko. Like, I wanna draw the individual characters, but I also want to draw the pairings and stuff like that. So I want to try doing more artwork that's like that, where I get to draw the pairings of them together and stuff like that. So that is something that I do want to explore. Yeah, I was gonna, and I also was thinking about doing a series of bookmarks, like a series of fan art style bookmarks and stuff like that. That's the next project that I want to tackle with physical goods, because I've been doing large prints and small prints. We did some stickers, right? But for me, since I got this fancy new printer, which is now paid for by funds from Anime North that I earned. I want to make use of it, and one of the things that I can make is bookmarks on my own and stuff like that, right? And one of so I want to do like fan art style bookmarks, but they're Dakimakura style. So just like a Dakimakura, you could do one image on the front and one image on the back and stuff like that. For those of you who don't know what Dakimakuras are, you have Google. but have your safe search on just in case. But yeah, like I would like to do a series of bookmarks that are like that, with images that I would have put if I were someone who could afford to create Dakimakuras as a product type. I don't know if I could ever really do Dakis as a full product type, because they're pretty expensive to manufacture, I believe. Though I have seen what is it? I have seen companies like on what is this, AliExpress, for example, offer Dakimakura services to print them and stuff like that. But I don't know if I could really afford to do Dakis, because, like, again, you know, minimum orders, right? Like, if I gotta order like 50 of them or something like that, and then like I don't even know if I could sell that many at any given point. So I would have to be able to afford the initial manufacturing costs, and unfortunately I don't think that's in the cards. But I can get away with doing bookmarks, because bookmarks we can do a similar image as a Dakimakura. The format is relatively similar, just in a much smaller format, right? Like, you know, it's not going to be whatever the Dakimakura size is, but you can shrink that down to 7" by 2.5, for example, and it'll be a similar thing. I can do them by myself on my own printer, with like the satin finish paper that I like to use and make like a cardstock type of thing, and I can even get a lamination machine to laminate them so that they're much more sturdy and not as prone to getting destroyed and stuff like that. But for special paper type bookmarks, I don't know if I can do that. Like, that's gonna be tough, right? Because I have seen bookmarks where they have like gold foil stamped on them and things like that. I don't know how to do that myself. I might have to go to a supplier to do that, but for now I will do basic ones, and I can even do the die cuts myself because I don't have a machine to do it here. But I can hand cut because I don't have the steadiest hands, but I know how to use my X-Acto blade. So I can hand produce a set of Daki style bookmarks. So I would probably end up doing this again as like fan art type stuff, right? I could do different VTubers. I can do different characters that I like, or I can do my OC characters here, you know, like everybody knows Biscotti, and you know, Mooney's got her avatar and stuff like that, so I could do ones of you know, our own IPs and stuff like that, and Capybara Girl and stuff like that. So, you know, there are options to do, like if I choose to do these types of Daki style bookmarks. So I'm kind of excited to try that as a new product type that I will work on and stuff like that. I just gotta get finished with this first, like this whole Nikkei thing, because these new characters, I've been wanting to draw them for quite a while, especially in the new version of their costumes, like here with Neon and Honest and stuff like that. So I was waiting to do do this set for a while because I just felt like I needed to do more. And then, you know, like, again, I don't mind if I draw Ryza a little bit more, but, you know, we'll see what happens, because, you know, I've been told that I can't just keep drawing Ryza all the time, even though I don't really draw her all the time. I only draw her a little bit. I've never drawn her that many times. Like, oh, and what am I doing right now? I'm actually, so a part of my sketching, my sketching process, right? Sometimes I get tired of trying to sketch the lines for each character. Sometimes I'll just take blocks of gray or colors and I'll do it like this, where I block in what I want to see, and then, you know, do that as part of the sketch. Because I'm doing the hair, it's easier for me to do it like this, because the hair is a much more organic thing than you know, being like solid shapes and stuff like that at certain points. So I'm trying to do the hair in the easiest way that I can without but this is just me. This is just how I prefer to do it. It doesn't mean that you have to do it this way if you're just learning the arting things and stuff. Like, this is just how I prefer to do stuff like this. For some people, it's easier for them to see shapes like this instead of doing it through lines and stuff like that. It's hard to explain for me because I don't feel like I'm a good art teacher, because again, I'm still learning myself. But some people register things differently than others. So like for me, I feel like sometimes I do register just seeing shapes like this in an easier way than to try to draw the lines like the way I've been doing it. So what's happening with this image, right, is what I will have it, even though she's jumping forward in the image itself, right, behind her is going to be a huge explosion. So that huge explosion is going to have a blast wave that's actually pushing clothing and hair forward and stuff like that, right? So normally you would have the hair flowing backwards and stuff like that, but in this case her hair is going to be forwards. Now what about her jacket and stuff like that, her skirt? I'm kind of fudged the physics on this a little and have the hair blasting forward, but then her jacket and stuff like that, like one side of it will be going forward, but then the other side is just gonna kind of fan outwards in a way that it's not really supposed to, so that you can kind of see most of the image underneath here and stuff like that. I don't want to cover all this by accident, because realistically speaking, her coat is gonna cover most of this if the air is rushing in from the back, but I don't want it to cover it, so I'm gonna fudge it a little bit. This is not realistic at all, but sometimes you make choices on what you feel like has to be entirely realistic, and some things that you can get away with a little bit. Don't try to fake it too much a little bit, because sometimes you get to the point where it's like, okay, this is the point of no return. You faked too many things, and now this just looks completely unrealistic. You gotta chill out when you get to that point, and I'm trying not to get to that point. So let's see. And I see I'm actually coming up on time, unfortunately. I didn't get too far into this, unfortunately, today. If had I been drawing more, like during the trip, I probably could be almost done with sketching this. But the unfortunate part is I actually did not end up bringing my my iPad with me during my the trip up to Toronto and stuff like that, and it's because of the fact that we had so much stuff to carry. Like I think for those of you who were on Mooney's stream, you might have heard that you might have heard Mooney say like we had bought an extra suitcase of luggage, and yeah, like we had to bring so much stuff that we had to check in multiple cases of luggage, and most people can't afford to do that, because now I know why, because that shit is expensive. So like like in order for us to not get dinged, because one time we were coming back to Cappy Town, and we packed our stuff in a specific way where we went over the weight limit that was allowed for the check-in luggage and stuff like that, right? And what ended up happening was we could have tried to repack it, but everything was so tightly packed that we just couldn't, right? So we ended up having to pay like over $100 and something and they would then accept it onto the plane. And that's when they told us that we should just get a separate case, because even though the separate case costs more money, when you do this, like paying the fee for the extra check-in is actually like half the price of what you have to pay for overweight luggage and stuff like that, right? So it's like, oh, okay, so that like in order to avoid that overweight luggage cost, we just try to do what we can to save on weight. And one of the sacrifices that I had to make was I didn't bring my iPad, so I couldn't get any art actually done while I was on the trip. Which is fine, like it's okay. Let's see. So that side of the hair, I've decided, like the bottom part of the hair, or like around that area, is mostly going to be covered with a lot of stuff, like the gun. The gun is actually it has more layers on top of it and stuff like that, right? So I don't have to go too far down. That's why I'm leaving the bottom part here a little bit like ambiguous and messy and stuff like that. But then I gotta fix the hand up here. So I was thinking of a pose to do for the hand up this way, right? And Mooney had made a suggestion on what her hand should really be doing up here, and it's like I'll look up some references to get it to go, but it's like it's almost like she had suggested like having her hand do one of these like sort of like salutes over here and stuff like that, or maybe even like peace sign or whatever. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out with the references and stuff like that, and then I'll have to go through the suffering of drawing an angled hand, and then the rest of her shoulder and stuff over here, something like that. I think we'll have to do something like that for the hand. We'll see. I'll again, I have to go and get some references on that stuff, and then gotta put all the emblems over here, and then like finish her coat, the other side of the coat, and then get her hat on with the big explosion in the background, because you know she's all about firepower, and you know, like, you can't okay, granted, I did originally draw an image of Neon without an explosion in it, but I've come to learn that you really shouldn't be drawing images of Neon without explosions. You know, I mean, it just feels right. It just feels right to draw images of Neon with explosions, okay? Okay. I think we know where we're going with this, you know? I'm not... Yeah, okay. I think we know where we're going with this, and maybe her hat is a little bit because originally I was gonna draw the hat like completely centered, like the way that she's wearing it normally, but I might tilt the hat a little bit on her head, like it's sort of just kind of falling off because of all the explosion going on behind her and stuff like that. So maybe I can do that and stuff like that, you know, like just something to make it a little bit less symmetrical. It's also why I have her in this image like on an angle and stuff like that, because I like having my characters when I draw them like what did I say? Less symmetrical, right? Like, so I like having them, you know, not be completely like you could split the page and then it's like everything's 50-50 and way too aligned and stuff like that. Because when you have images like that, when they're too aligned, sometimes it can look a little boring. You can't help it with certain things, like when you draw Dakimakura type images, right? Where, you know, you sometimes you do want that alignment. But there's ways that you can get around it by changing the position of certain things and stuff like that. But yeah, I do kind of... I have a vision for this one. It's coming along. So I hope that, you know, like, we can finish this pretty soon. But yeah, see, like, there's gonna be a part of the gun that covers up this part, and then her shoulder and arm will cover up this part. So I didn't want to go too far with the hair, because we didn't, you know, you're not really gonna see certain parts of it over there. So okay. And then tomorrow we're gonna come back around the same time. We're just gonna continue working on this, and yeah, we're probably gonna end up discussing a whole lot more about, you know, like the convention experience that we had over there, because I think I skipped out on a lot of stuff, and I think I forgot to talk about certain things that happened at the convention, like, itself and stuff like that. Like oh yeah, one cosplayer, I don't know, I should have gotten their name or their social media or something like that, but no joke, there was a guy that was dressed as Mac tonight. You guys all might be too young for this shit. Oh man, so I don't know if you guys know this, but there was like a set of commercials, right? Um, I think they were, what was it like? What was the era of that? It was like this character appeared in even as far back as the 80s, I think, right? But I think all the way to the early 2000s, there was a character from McDonald's. His name was Mac Tonight, and it was like kind of nightmare feel-ish for me because he was like like this dude that looked like a crescent moon. Like his head was a crescent moon. The McDonald's moon, yeah, the McDonald's moon guy, yeah. So early, you know, right? And like I saw him there at Anime North. I also saw. Okay, so that was like he used to play like a piano or something like that on top of a Big Mac or something like, and they would put on these like way late night commercials for adults to advertise McDonald's and stuff. And he was like the character to advertise for like an older audience and stuff like that. So he would like there was a guy there that had like a picture perfect Mac Tonight costume. It was amazing. It was fucking amazing. And then there was also, I saw somebody that was, I don't know if it was supposed to be, but I suspect that this person was dressed as Mothman, or rather, this person was Mothman. So Mac Tonight, Mothman, there was a couple of other cryptid creatures that I saw there. Apparently, they all left. They all left the United States and moved north. That's where they all were. They were all in Toronto this entire time. But yeah, that was kind of amazing. That Mac Tonight guy was quite amazing. Also wanted to they wanted to do some of the meet and greets at the V Food booth, so that was kind of cool. I also observed that the cosplayer, remember we were talking about the anime titty car convention that was across from us earlier? I also observed that one of the cosplayers there drove like this little Power Wheels car around a little bit and crashed into the garbage can that was over there. There was a lot of really interesting things happening at the convention. I got to check out the Lego builder's place, and they made the entire like Animal Crossing island or something like that over there, so that was kind of cool to see. I didn't get to see too much of the Gunpla people's what they were doing with the Gunpla building part. I kind of wish that I dived more into the vendors hall side of things, but I kind of avoided it because I was like, I don't want to spend too much money. So I stuck to, mostly to the artist alley and some of the parts of the industry section, because there was like a dealer's room and artist alley and then the industry section. That's kind of how the floor was apparently like divided up and stuff like that. So I got to check out, like I checked out the Hoyoverse booth, and I actually went to go and get something Farina related for my niece. The Cappy kids really like Genshin Impact. And then I was like, day one, I told Mooney very confidently, oh, look, see right here. They have a Farina acrylic and a button and a notepad. So, you know, like, it looks like they have really good art stuffs. That, I mean, really good, not art stuff, but merchandise that I can get for my niece, who is a huge fan of Farina. Go up to the iPad the next day. I snuck there early so that I could get online pretty early. Though it really didn't need to, because everybody there was there for the Zenless Zone Zero stuff. So, you know, like, I wasn't there for the Zenless Zone Zero stuff, so I got to go into the line that was Genshin related. And the Genshin related line was actually rather short as compared to the Zenless Zone stuff, which was curling around their house. The house that they freaking built for themselves over there. But yeah, like, so I was looking through the iPad, I was like, Farina. Where's Farina? Why don't they have Farina stuff? I thought I saw Farina over at the display, the Farina stuff, right? So, I had my boomer moment. I had my complete boomer moment. I said very confidently that, yeah, look, this is my niece's favorite character, Farina. It was fucking not Farina at all. It was the surfing girl. I don't remember her name. I completely had my boomer moment. I said super confidently, yeah, this is her favorite character, Farina. That was not fucking Farina. That was not her at all. And I was confused as all hell when I went up to the iPad and I was like, I can't find any Farina stuff. And then I noticed that that character, that's not Farina. That's that surfing girl from when I didn't actually play the game anymore. So yeah, I had to report back, sadly, to my niece. No, that was not Farina. I'm sorry. I thought. But yeah, I'll be back to work on this arting. Same art of Neon from Goddess of Victory Nikkei. We're gonna work on that tomorrow. I think I have where else is it? So just to kind of show you guys also what we've been working on previously, because we can't forget, we have a line art done here of Titty Star Honest that Mooney is starting to add color to it. So this one is in the coloring stages. So we're gonna, once she starts to add the flat colors to it, then I'll finish it off by adding the background and all the effects and, you know, making adjustments to the colors and stuff like that. So that's gonna be neat. But for now, oh no, I didn't. No, not that button. Oh shoot. I'm sorry, guys. I pressed the wrong button. The friggin' add button. Oh my god. Why did I do that? I went to press... I went to press the other button. The freaking, the raid button. And I fucking pressed the damn, I went to press the raid button, but then I pressed the wrong button. I'm sorry, guys. Oh my god. Oh, what the hell? Okay, ad is closing pretty soon. Don't worry. Okay, ad break is over. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to press that button. I wanted to press the raid button so I can start looking for someone to raid into. Oh, hey! You know what? Here's some people that we haven't raided into in a while. So we're gonna go ahead and join a birthday stream for a celebration from two VTubers who who are a whole lot of fun, and they are also doing some art. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, we're gonna come back. Thanks for the stream, streamer. No, thank you for dropping by, Swirly Eyes. But yeah, we had a lot of fun at the con, Swirly. Like, seriously, you guys helped us out so much. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and raid into Mistakenly Sci-Fi. They are pretty awesome. They do a lot of different things, including art and gaming and stuff like that. They play some retro games that are really cool. So I hope you guys will enjoy that. And yeah, here we go. I'll be back at 6 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And yeah, we're just gonna continue doing the arts, and we're gonna continue doing the arts and talking about other silly shit. And hopefully by this weekend somehow, I will have gotten my account on Picarto ready, and maybe sometime during the weekend, if we have some time, we will be drawing some, let's say, spicy art from a not so after dark type stream. But anyway, here we go. We're gonna go ahead and raid, and yeah, see you guys tomorrow.